Start winning at the races with Daily Racing Form's new mobile pass performances, featuring exclusive buyer speed figures and expert analysis and selections. Go to drf.com/best and get the power of DRF in the palm of your hand. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. It's opening day at Del Mar, and Friday's feature race is the 9th. Let's throw up the field for the traditional opening day feature, the Oceanside. The Runhappy Oceanside for 3-year-olds going a mile on the turf. This is a fantastic betting race. It is a full field. There are some stretch-out sprinters in here that can add to the speed, and there are some nice closers as well. A lot of people are going to be focused on the Maker's Mark Mile and the Beaumont and even the Gold Fever at Belmont, but this is one of the better betting races on Friday.
Yeah, they got a really good field together here. There's some really talented 3-year-old turf horses in this race. And as you mentioned, there should be pace in this race, with the 3 stretch-out sprinters drawn to the 3 inside posts.
Those 3 horses have speed, and there are a couple of horses to the outside that should show some speed as well. Timeform US believes the 8 Tis a Magician is going to make the lead. I personally don't see that. I think of the horses on the outside, the 10 Solarity is going, stretching out. The 12 Margot's Boy is going. And then you've got the 1, 2, and 3. They're going to show some speed as well. I think it's going to be a fast pace. I'm just not sure Tis a Magician is going to be part of it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Tis a Magician was hard for me to see on the early lead in this race, considering all the other aspects of this race. But he is switching surfaces here, so maybe he'll show some speed, and I just can't see him making the lead in here.
One of those stretch-out sprinters is the 1 Rookie Mistake. Now, he's only stretched out once previously. It was on dirt. He didn't run very well in the Cal Cup Derby. And right now, to me, he's just a sprinter, but he's making his 3rd start of the form cycle, and he has run some solid races on the turf. And with this post, Mario Gutierrez, if he breaks, can settle into a nice position in the second flight behind the leaders.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, his turf form overall is pretty good. It's just all come going shorter. I don't know how much I wanted him stretching out, especially against a field like this. I mean, it's not like he's found himself in some kind of soft spot here. He's facing some good horses, so he's going to have to really take a step forward and handle the distance.
The number 2, El Tigre Terrible, switches to Flavian Pratt. This horse has won 2 out of his last 3 sprinting. Let's watch the Desert Code last time out, going 5.5. And just consider, folks, this is his first start off of an 8-month layoff. And El Tigre Terrible, as we can see, he's kind of just waiting in behind horses right now in the purple hat, and he never could get through. And now it looks like he's going to finish 5th. And he gets to the outside, and he comes with one more burst of speed. He was probably best by a good margin in this race.
Got pretty unlucky there. His only prior turf start last October was a good effort as well, from way out of it, just getting up. I just hate taking these closing sprinters when they stretch out, Dan. And he's found himself in a tough spot here, but he's going to have pace to close into.
He is going to have some pace. I think he has enough pedigree to get a mile, and that last race points him out as a horse with some ability. He should run well. The 3 is Howbeit, a horse stretching out for the first time, trying turf for the first time, and I just don't see enough turf pedigree here for Doug O'Neill. Secret Circle, the sire, was a fast one. He's only 1 for 6 with first-time turf runners. It's too early to tell whether he'll be a turf stallion. This is the first horse to try turf out of an unraced dam. I have to take a wait-and-see approach with this horse.
Agreed. This horse is going to be a big price in this race, but I couldn't make a case for him.
I'm Leaving You is coming off of a maiden victory. We'll watch that race on May the 29th, but he had a couple of things in his favor in this race. 1, he was able to shake loose on the backstretch and get a little bit of a breather. 2, he was dropping into a 62,500 race. The horse that he fends off in the lane came back to run second with a 77 buyer, but that was in a $40,000 maiden claimer. He's not getting the lead in here, and he's stepping up in class.
Yeah, I mean, that trip's just not going to be available to him in this race. Listen, he's very lightly raced. I suppose he could take a step forward in here, but he's very, very hard to make a case for in this race.
Canderel, one of 2 in here for trainer Dick Mandella, earned a stakes victory last time out at Golden Gate Fields going this distance. Let's watch the Alcatraz Stakes. Career best 81 buyer for Canderel, who was favored in here at 6-5, and he got a clean enough trip on the outside, and he's going to have to work to get up in the final strides. Solid performance. I think he's going to have to do a little better, even though he's going to get an advantageous pace scenario.
Yeah, he ran okay in this race. I mean, there's some talent here, Dan. He's run some nice races. That's a Journey to Freedom you saw there in the pink, who followed him around the turn and then just couldn't quite get him at the end. I thought they both ran well in that race. They're both facing a much tougher field this time, though.
I think the next two entrants that we're going to talk about are two of the better 3-year-old turf horses in Southern California. Let's start with KP All Systems Go, a horse that won 2 in a row and then ran second in this race. The Cinema Stakes going 1 1/8. He was beaten by odds-on Haribo, who's unfortunately injured right now. KP All Systems Go just didn't get a lot of pace to run at, Mike, and he was last in this short field on the backstretch. He came wide into the stretch. He tries hard all the way down to the wire. I like him cutting back to a mile in a race full of speed. You would expect this horse to run well.
Yeah, I think he will run well in here, especially if the pace develops, because that seems like what he really needs. His wins 2 and 3 back were really, really good performances. And last time, you're right, Dan, the pace didn't develop. And as opposed to KP All Systems Go, his stablemate Haribo got a really clever ride because he was at the back early, but he went with a very early run and put himself right into contention before they even got to the backstretch in there. And that made the difference in that race.
I feel the same way about Hit the Road as I do about KP All Systems Go. I think he's a talented horse. He was a stakes winner as a 2-year-old. He came back off a 5+ month layoff to beat older horses last time out. Let's watch this race for Hit the Road. And he was able to split horses on he's the number 7 in the yellow and blue, splitting horses right now. And once he gets clear, this is a really strong late run. I know Master Diarte has kind of been stuck in this non-winners of 2 other than, but he's a solid enough older horse, good buyer for Hit the Road, and he finishes his races off.
Yeah, he does. He was good in all of his turf races last year. It's sort of unfortunate that he had such a tough post in the Breeders' Cup, Dan, because he actually ran okay in that race. And the big difference, I think the thing that really points him out in this spot is off the layoff last time in his first start as a 3-year-old, he got himself much better position early in the race. He was basically a 1-run closer last year. And that race off the layoff, he put himself right into position. He was never far away from the pace, and he still had his finish.
Mandella also has Tiz a Magician in this race, trying turf for the first time. Not a lot of turf pedigree here. He's by Tiz now out of a Dixie Union mare. He's faced some pretty good horses on the dirt, however, whether it's Honor AP or Wrecking Crew. And on New Year's Day, he got a victory. They ran him in the Bob Lewis against 1,000 Words, and then they wanted to ship him to Maidan to run him in the UAE Derby. That card was abandoned. So last time out, they had to fire him off a layoff against older horses. I'm not sure about the turf. I do know he's the regular workmate of United, who's one of the better turf horses in the country for Mandella.
Yeah, I mean, this horse's dirt form, I guess, is fine. And it's, you can say it's headed the right way, Dan. I can't say that I'm, thrilled with him as a dirt horse. And I just didn't see any turf pedigree to get me interested here.
Freedom finished second behind Canderel in the Alcatraz last time out. It was a best performance for A Journey to Freedom in his turf debut. And being a son of hard spun, it's possible he's found a home on this surface. I do think he has to do a little better in here.
Yeah, again, I think they both ran well in that race. I certainly felt like A Journey to Freedom might have actually taken a step forward there in his turf debut, but this is not an easy spot.
Solardi stretches out for Peter Miller, and I think he has pedigree to get this distance. He's by City Zip out of an Arch mare. Let's watch his most recent win. He's 2 for 2 on turf, both of those races sprinting. This is only a 5.5 furlong race, but he prompted the pace on the outside. He's in the teal silks, and he's eventually going to wear down the leader. Buyers are going the right way with each and every start, an 87 buyer for this race. He's fast, and I think to get away from this outside post position, they have to put him on a send and get him right up close to the pace.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how fast the pace turns out to be, Dan, because that could certainly work against him in this race as he stretches out. But if for some reason it doesn't develop, this horse has a pretty good amount of ability. I like his 2 turf races quite a bit. This is a very difficult stretch out in distance against this field, I think. But this horse is pretty good.
I couldn't find the excuse for Haywood's Beach in the Cinema last time out. His first start against winners, he saved ground in behind the leader. That was the race where Haribo got the jump on KP All Systems Go. I just thought KP All Systems Go ran better than Haywood's Beach, and Haywood's Beach is a tough post this time.
Yeah, moving outside is not going to help him. He is a very tactical horse, though. I thought he ran fine in the Cinema. I did think KP All Systems Go ran better. But this horse ran fine in that race. It was another step in the right direction. He's still very lightly raced. There's things to like about this horse.
Margot's Boy had a 3-race win streak snapped in this race, the Snow Chief, and maybe the 1 1/8 was just a little bit too far at this point in his career. He's even money in here. He showed speed from the start. He's down towards the inside, and he's just going to get a little bit tired at the end. His buyers are solid, but he's yet to reach 80. And from the outside post, he has to hustle. He's really a speed horse in a field of other speeds. I'm not sure if this pace scenario works for him.
Yeah, me too. I was worried about that. I mean, I guess they'll just send him from the outside post and try to make the lead in here. And we'll see if he can accomplish that. His turf races are pretty good, Dan. I don't like the post, and there's supposed to be other pace to go with him in this race.
Wide open race. Let's take a look at our top selections for the Runhappy Oceanside Stakes on opening day at Del Mar. Mike, well, I'm going to go with Tis a Magician, the 8, trying turf for the first time. Usually not my kind of horse. I think he's faced some decent dirt horses, and I think he can get a position in behind. But for me, it's a spread. I have to use the 7. I have to use the 10. I have to use the 6. You're going 7-6.
Yeah, I mean, I did hit the road. I liked him a lot as a 2-year-old, Dan, and I do think he really improved in his 3-year-old debut last time.
Hit the road, really finishes off his races, as does the 6. I think they'll both be firing late. We'll see if Tis a Magician can handle turf, but it's a good race. Look for a price, 8-7, 10-6 for me, 7-6, 11-10 for Mike. The Runhappy Oceanside is approximate post time of 6 o'clock Pacific. Best of luck.